Alright, so in this video I just wanted to show you how to get started with our lab kit for this course. Labs in online courses are a little bit different because you're having to do the labs from home. You have to purchase a lab kit that is going to come with most of the material you need to complete the labs. Alright, so before we go any further, make sure you have purchased the lab kit. If you haven't done that already, you need to do that as soon as possible. In most classes, your first lab assignment is going to be due like at the end of the second week or maybe third week. For the one that I'm demoing this video right now, the second week you have to have your lab kit because that's when it's due. So the kits can take a week or two to come in. That means on the first day of class, if you haven't ordered your lab kit yet, you really need to order it as soon as possible. I've sent an email out to students who had registered ahead of time to make sure you know that you need to get the lab kit as soon as you can. So if you haven't, if you're watching this and you haven't ordered your kit, just make sure you do that as soon as you get a chance. All right. So instructions for ordering your lab kit. If you'll click here, we're going to go through all of this in just a little bit. The lab company, they just recently changed their name. So they're called Science Interactive now. They used to be called Hands-On Labs. So if you bought your kit from the bookstore and it said Hands-On Labs, you got the right one. They just haven't changed their packaging for a lot of their stuff yet. If you've taken this class in the past and you had a Hands-On Labs kit, it's the same company. They just did a name change. So there's a link I'm going to show you in just a second where you are going to enter your information to register for, it's now called SI Cloud, Science Interactive Cloud. Used to be called Hands-On Labs Cloud or HOL Cloud. But you'll type in your information, you will register for the course, and then you will be taken to our class and it'll show you how to purchase your lab kit. So it's actually really simple. Let me show you how to do that. Right here where it says click here for SI Cloud, that's your lab website. It's going to take you to a registration page right here where you're going to type in your information. You're going to pick an email. It doesn't have to be your Gadsden State email, but if you wanted to use that, since it's for class, maybe that would be easier to remember. For your password, this is not necessarily your Gadsden State password. It's probably a good idea to pick a different one. Just make sure it's something you can remember because every time we do a lab, you're going to have to sign in. All right, now I already have a student account set up, but what you would do, type your information and click submit. Once you've registered, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Now, if you've got a different class or section number, that's fine. Or if it's a different session, don't let that. The instructions are going to be the same for all of the biology lab kits. All right, so I'm going to click here. This is my course for the class. And let's look in the top right first. So here's how you can order your kit, or how, if you've already bought your kit, how you can unlock the lessons. So first, let's say you ordered your kit from the bookstore, or you purchased it from the bookstore. On the outside of your lab kit, there should be like a 14-digit serial number. I'm going to click enter a code. Kit code, that's the name of the code that's on the outside of your box. You'll just type in that information and click submit, and it should unlock the course for you. All right. Now, if you bought your kit from the bookstore and that code on the kit doesn't work for some reason, just let me know. I'll get you in touch with Science Interactive's customer service. And if you have a proof of purchase, so like a receipt or order confirmation or something like that, they should be able to help you out and unlock the course for you. Now, if you're purchasing directly from Science Interactive, you're going to click Purchase Kit. And when you do that, you'll type in all your information just like you're ordering anything online. And that's how you can buy your lab kit. All right, let's really quickly look at a few more things. Before you do any of the real labs in your course, you're going to have to do a couple prerequisites first. The getting started one is just to make sure you know how to use this website when you start doing the real labs. Lab safety is just a quick safety module that you have to go through to make sure you understand the safety rules for science labs. Let's look at this one real quick. Exploration is going to tell you an estimated amount of time it takes to complete this. This one says 3 hours. I promise you it's not going to take that long. Most of them do take a little while, but this one's really simple. All right, so it's going to tell you how to unpack your kit and make sure that you received everything. They do a really good job of packing these, but if you are missing something, then it tells you how to get in touch with them and they can send you a replacement. Or if something is broken, like during shipping, it tells you how to get in touch with them. All right, for our labs, typically there's an exploration, which is like the background information that you need to know. You will do the experiment. And while you're doing the experiment, you're actually going to be typing out your answers. You're going to be filling out your answers as you go along, step by step. Lastly is evaluation. It's just a chance for you to look over everything and make sure that you submitted it right. All right. At the end of the exploration for this one, it has Hands-On Labs contact information. It'd be a really good idea to write that down and have it somewhere that if you run into any issues or if you have any questions, you can get in touch with them. It tells you they're not going to give you answers for the experiments, but if you have issues like using the website or if you realize that your kid is missing something, that's the number to get in touch with them. All right, for the experimentation, for this one, like I said, we're just kind of learning how to use this website. All you need, it's going to tell you any materials that you need to provide for each lab. On this one, you just need something to write with and something to write on. Okay, so the point of this lab is to show you how to enter your information when you're doing the labs. So part 1, for example, says locate the blue data toolbar at the bottom of this page, click the word data, and record some information. So I click here. Here's how I would type out information. I filled this one out already, but you would type in the information that it asks you. You might have to look up some information. So the time in Fiji, what I would do is Google, time in Fiji. It's going to pop up the answer and you'll type that in. The cool thing about this, and I did not check this, so this is probably wrong. Okay, when I type in an answer, it's going to save my progress as I go along. All right, so that's pretty cool. If your internet cuts out, if your computer shuts down, you don't have to redo everything because it saves your answers. All right, so next I would go to part 2, and you would just follow those instructions. And as I'm going through and I'm doing the lab, it's filling everything out for me. So that's really good. You don't have a lab report to write because as you were doing this all along, you were typing your answers in. All right, so that's the quick version of this exercise. There's another one on lab safety. After I've completed both of those prerequisites, it's going to unlock all of the other lessons for me. All right, these are the ones that you're actually going to do 4 points throughout the semester. You have to do the prerequisites first. All right, just a few more things. In some classes, there might be other labs that are not included with your lab kit. So for example, in Biology 104, you've got a fungi lab. There was not one of those in your lab kit, so we've got a different one. What you'll do is click on this folder and follow those instructions. I've got videos. I'm holding your hand as much as I can because I know this is kind of a different way to do labs. So I've got videos and instructions, and you'll just kind of follow along with those. Last thing, and this is actually a really big one right here, is your experiments list. So at the very bottom of the lab tab is what I clicked on. At the very bottom, I've got an experiment list. What this is, it's a list of every single lab that we've got for the semester. It tells you the due date. It tells you the estimated time needed to complete the lab. That's important. So these labs, in 104, there's a lot of dissection, and that can take some time because you've got to take pictures and label different parts of what you just dissected. So if this lab takes 3.5 hours and it's due Sunday night, I don't need to be starting this at like 11 p.m. because I'm not going to have time to finish it before the deadline. So just make sure you give yourself enough time. These are estimates. Hopefully it won't take you this long. For some of you, it might take a little longer. So just give yourself plenty of time. It's also going to tell you any materials that you need to provide, all right? Now, most of these are things you have already. So if you've got your textbook, it's a good idea to have that with you just if you need to look up any answers. But most of these, It's like sheet of paper, pencil, camera, because you're going to have to take pictures, so you can use your phone. You can use your webcam to take pictures too. Soap, distilled water, bleach, or some type of something to clean up after you're done with your dissection. What you need to do is look at these materials well before the due date. That way, if you've got to make a special trip, like you can run to the grocery store a week ahead of time to make sure that you've got all your material you need for the lab. All right, and it's got the due dates and the estimated time for all of our labs this semester. So if you'll go ahead and look at that, you should always be prepared. You shouldn't have any last second trips you have to run to the grocery store to get bleach or anything like that. All right. I believe that's got it. So what I would do if this is like early in the semester, go ahead, sign up for your lab website, and then once you've done that, go ahead and complete the prerequisites, because you're going to have to do those before you do the real labs. Those prerequisites don't take too long, but you want to go ahead and get that out of the way before the real labs start later on. Right? If you have any questions or if you need help with anything, let me know, and I'll be glad to help.